Welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophia, pilot into the universe of Chinese. Let's continue unpacking some classical China era's character. And Lun is today's character. You can see the three progressions 2,000 years ago, probably later, even more standardized after the print came out or digital printing came out. And then this is simplified Chinese, also digitized version of it. So Lun, I translate as a relationship, but it's in English, relationship is kind of a narrow. It has both a narrow and a broad scope definition. Relationship can be between and two things, not necessarily human to human either. Or it could be super narrow, simply between two couples. And that's relationship we talk about. But in Chinese, this lun, this relationship, involves all kinds of human societal relationship. And it's basically the way the Confucius frame how people can harmoniously live together. You kind of know your position and treat each other accordingly. So all that was canonized, and so everybody know where they belong, how they should behave, and then that in that way kind of disambiguous a lot of things, so that everybody follow the same rule, and everybody know what's the expectations from each other. So it's like the one way of the cultivation of people, or the upbringing of generations of Chinese living according to this relationship book. Okay, so that's Confucius' major thought. And Lun is that core peg in that, or pillar in that thinking. And okay, I always go back to the oldest version I can find and explain from there. So, because it's about human relationships, in this case, I mean, English relationship could be broad or narrow, right? But in Chinese, it's strictly between human. We don't talk about we and our pet, we and nature. That's not Lun. That's not the scope of Lun. Lun is strictly humans interfacing. And so we have a human figure on the left, right? This leftward facing profile view of humans is our Chinese character for human. Then the right side, it looks complicated. There are so many strokes, but if we look at it, unpack it into two parts. The top simply is a triangle. It's not like a closed triangle. It's actually an open triangle. And that triangle means gathering. And the more I see this character reoccurring, not only it's gathering, but also it's kind of imitating what's in nature, a pile of things, right? Say you have a pile of dirt on the ground, most likely it come up like this, almost like a pyramid. And that pile of things not only means gathering, but also means hierarchy. Because one, you have a pile of things, they're the base, the bottom is broader naturally. And when it comes to the top, eventually it's just one thing on the top. So that also is the construct of ancient scholars or theorists talking about how human society organized. And that's kind of this pile of things with the top and the bottom, and it come out in this shape. Okay, the bottom, simply 5 vertical strokes, even if some are curved in and out. That simply means individuals, they have a difference. There is a certain diversity there. However, they are unified by this 2 horizontal band. So those 5 things banded together, and that means grouping. So this whole group, or this bundle of humans, plus this pile of this hierarchical society, is the basic idea of what it means to be in Lun. You kind of need to know your bundle, which grouping you belong, your social stratification or your social function. You find which group right? You fit in, okay? You become part of that bundle. And then you know on this structure which part you fall onto. And be aware of exactly where you fit into the whole society, that awareness, then is the foundation of how you behave. So to know where you belong, then you know how you behave. And that's the succinct way to view what Confucius tell people. Basically know your role and then know how to fulfill that role's script. Okay. 伦理人伦天伦 Okay, three examples. So 伦理 li means rationale, the logic behind it. So 伦理 relationship rationale simply is English ethics. That's working, right? If we think about what ethics is about, it's how we rationalize how we treat each other. And that's a relationship rationale. In Chinese, 伦理 is how we say it. Of course, it's a translation. Like before ethics is a Western concept. So somebody has translated back to Chinese. And we happen to have this character Lun, like plug in easy, almost squarely fit in. Not a square in the circle thing, but it's right there. And then plus Li, this reasoning, this rationale behind how relationship fit. That's ethics. Okay. 人伦 here again, we have this 人 spell out. So here we're just strictly talking about a human relationship. So you will say this is redundant because in our definition of what 伦 is about, it's strictly human, interhuman relationship. So why you say human again is redundant information. Well, Chinese do that by my theory of why Chinese repeat their message is, well, now we have a slide in front of you to show the characters. Oftentimes, Chinese also used audioly. We don't show the written form. So you don't exactly know what the 人伦 we're talking about just by the sound of it. Because Chinese we have a monosyllable characters. Each character is one syllable. We don't have multiples, like relationship is 4 syllables to form one concept. And by audioly, you can easily distinguish what that word is. But Chinese, we have so many things pronounced as 人, so many things pronounced as 伦. So it's easily get confusing, like exactly what you're talking about. So Chinese like to pair this overlapping concepts together, almost serves as a locking system. So that say each character have like this pronunciation have 5 possible words, or each word even have 5 possible meanings. And so is this one. And by locking them together, each one their overlapping message, then is the one. So audibly, we can, by hearing 人伦, then we know, okay, no mistaken, this we're talking about the human relationship. This 伦, this 人, no confusion there. Okay, that's my theory. So we can be a little repetitive according to the written language, but in spoken language, that's totally necessity. Okay, 天伦. So here, what's the difference? Okay, among the human relationships, there is a group, subcategory, that's sky relationship. What is sky? Okay, Chinese use sky almost equivalent to natural because we regard the sky as the universe, the cosmos, not only the sky, but the visible upper bound of our existence. So when we say sky, it's equivalent as nature's, right? So if it's a natural relationship, it means you have blood relationship. It's not, it's like organically you got that relationship. You land into that family organically. It's not of your own choice. You just by bloodline, you were born into it. So that's what Chinese call 天伦, and that's equivalent to English family. You have to have that blood connection. You share the same genes. All right, so 伦 relationship, and here is very pure, like a wide, and has a lot of negative space, but focus on these two people that made through life build a strong bonding between two humans, and supposedly they're a couple, and that's a demonstration of what 伦 is about. Thank you for your time. See you next day.